This is the image that has scorched internet all through the weekend. Carlos Alcaraz breaking his racket as he crumbled to a loss to V Gael Monfils at the Cincinatti Masters. Fans watched in shock as Carlos Alcaraz destroyed, not his opponent, no, but his racket instead, slamming it multiple times to submission. The poor apparatus sent to its grave in the most gruesome manner. Not the kind of sight that any Spanish tennis lover is used to, let alone an Alcaraz fan. And it's been a fabulous year for the young 21-year-old. In fact, it's been one of his best years till date. Sure, he lost the Olympic gold medal match to Novak Djokovic last week, but the Spaniard has had an otherwise incredible 2024 after a rather dull 2023, winning 2 Grand Slam titles this year, the French Open and the Wimbledon. But I know that shouldn't be the point to make here. There isn't a need to break a racket even if you're having a bad time on court, even if it's the absolute worst. Fans were shocked, and of course the comparisons came flooding in of how no one saw Rafael Nadal get this violent or angry on court ever. In fact, some years back, in 2019, a reporter in an interview asked Rafael Nadal how many rackets he had broken on court during his career so far, and Rafael Nadal had indicated this: 0. He went on to say that my family wouldn't have allowed me to break a racket. Breaking a racket means I'm not in control of my emotions. Something so paramount for a sports person to keep the focus on the game. Something to think about for Alcaraz in there. Going back to what preceded that moment of madness, though, it was not an easy outing for Carlos or Monfils for that matter. In fact, Monfils was trailing. He was down a set when play got suspended, breaking Alcaraz's rhythm, of course. In particular, the match resumed the next day, which saw Monfils making quite the strong comeback. And Alcaraz, well, Alcaraz losing his cool on court. And look, this by no means is an attempt at passing judgment on a player venting. Emotions are a big part of sport. Players play to win, and they play with their hearts on their sleeves. Seeing composure and calmness is very rare, and yes, it's a top quality that very few possess. Many of the best players in the world are those who can be calm when the going gets tough. The point is, Alcaraz went nowhere from that moment of utter rage and violence. It continued going downhill, and a new racket, of course, didn't make much of a difference.
I felt like it was the worst match that I've ever played in my career. I've been practicing really well. I was feeling great, but I couldn't play. I want to forget it and try to move on to New York.
Alcaraz, of course, took a while to understand the implications of this act and the effect it had generated. So he issued an apology on his social media platform a little later. He had to, but as they say, damage had already been done. In fact, after this episode, Nike, Alcaraz's sponsor, unveiled the Spaniard's look for New York for the US Open. A black sleeveless t-shirt for Alcaraz, very a la Nadal, this outfit, throwing up visions of a young Spaniard who in fact nailed the sleeveless look when he came onto the scene, branded it as his own. And the irony of this, of course, was not lost on fans. An attempt to try and move past the racket-breaking incident by this piece of marketing clearly failed. Fans running riot online, calling Nike out on their look for Alcaraz, saying obviously the color is black to symbolize Carlos Alcaraz's dark side. One fan also channeling Rihanna, terming this as good boy gone bad. So basically that did not go down too well either. The comparisons between Alcaraz and Nadal hitting a peak with this episode. Now, a way to look at this, of course, Alcaraz is only 21 and there's so much scrutiny on every single thing he does and will continue to be there here on. He is in the big league now and every act of his, both on and off court, has consequences. He's a role model, so clearly what will make him an icon or one of the greatest ever won't just be the magic he creates with his racket on court while playing, but also how he treats it when he's not playing. What's his demeanor like? How can he keep a check on his emotions to the degree he possibly can? There are no place for saints anywhere, but he's going to be constantly judged and compared to Nadal every step of the way. So might as well start learning some lessons that are required off the court and not just on it.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.